Hello there, fellow sparrows. This is Tom checking in with my mostly monthly, pretty close to monthly, State of the Sparrow pod, where I update you on all things your other family, your other brothers, and your other sisters. What an exciting trio we are. This is the September update, I need to say, even though this is coming out in the first week of October. And the reason it's coming out in the first week of October is the end of September brought a very exciting, a very hectic also, but very exciting time in our community, particularly our Your Other Brothers community. We've been having these yearly retreats every fall. I was trying to think, like every fall going back to 2021. This was originally a spring retreat, and then it has since shifted to the fall for the last 5. So 5 retreats now we've met in the fall. This was our 7th one overall, and we had a blast. We had so much fun. It was a great, great time in Western Pennsylvania, and I will be posting blogs, maybe a podcast or 2 about that soon. So stay tuned if you want to learn more, or if you were there and you just want to relive it, or maybe you have a blog to share, or maybe you'll come on the podcast. I haven't figured out who I'm bringing on the podcast yet, so y'all analyze this decision with me. But it was a fantastic weekend, busy weekend. I took a week to slowly land the plane. It took a solid week of landing the plane, coming out of that retreat, visiting some family up in Pennsylvania. That was a joy for me because I grew up in Pennsylvania, the other side of the state from where we had this retreat. So it's good to see some family again, in addition to seeing my other brothers. It was just a truly familial week, a week of togetherness, a week of love. And so stay tuned if you're looking for blogs or podcasts about our YOB retreat. It is coming this entire month of October, basically. So there will be a lot of stories to tell. I'm excited to hear from my other brothers. You know, we had 53 people go, our largest retreat ever, our most internationally diverse retreat ever as well. And that's 53 unique stories, 53 unique vantage points, unique personalities, unique takeaways from the retreat. And so I won't hear from 53 of them, but 5, 10, 15. It'll be good. It'll be good to get a little cross-section of response from that retreat. So thanks to the Yobbers out there for another amazing weekend. You guys are the best. You truly are the best. I love you all. I want to get to some huge news, actually. News that I shared at the YOB retreat. News that I have since shared with our YOB and YAS community members. And now news that I am sharing with the universe. The whole planet. I was going to say the planet, but it's for the whole universe. For our other brothers and sisters and future members on Mars. And whatever that planet is that looks like Earth, that's like 25,000 light years away or whatever. I read a news story about it once. We are officially, you guys, approved as a nonprofit organization with the IRS. We got our IRS acceptance letter the week of the retreat. Can you believe? Can you even? Like right before I left. I actually left town a couple days before the retreat to work my way up there from Asheville to Pennsylvania, and got that. I think I got that letter like the day before I left or something. It was crazy because otherwise it would have been sitting in my mailbox for 2 weeks, basically. So the fact that we are now approved, that is exciting. We were already anticipating that all gifts given in 2025 would be tax deductible, but that is now official. That is now officially true. Retroactively, if you gave a cent, since we launched our new giving platform, our new websites going back to the summer, and now ongoing, if you're giving now, if you're going to give or hope to give in the future, all of those gifts were and will be and are, if I covered all my tenses, right? Tax deductible. And that's a huge incentive, I know, for many people, for businesses to give. And so I'll be sharing more about that in our newsletter and social media as well. You might be listening to this on social media, but I'll be sharing more about it, especially in our newsletter, which goes to our supporters, our members, and our prospective members and supporters, people who just have followed our content and enjoy our content. So you can subscribe to that newsletter. If you're not already giving, we sign you up if you would let us do that. But if you would like to sign up for our newsletter, go to yourotherfamily.org or yourotherbrothers, yourothersisters.org And just scroll all the way down the bottom. There's a newsletter sign up link, and you can get subscribed and not miss any of the updates. Normally, I will send those every quarter. So every 3 months, roughly, I will send those. I will send a special one this coming week to talk about the IRS approval, because that is a big deal in the life of a nonprofit. It feels like there have been many stages to this of us hatching. It's like a Russian nesting doll of eggs hatching in various capacities, like before we launched the websites, and then we launched the websites, and now we have this IRS approval letter to kind of cap it all off. So hopefully that's the last egg to hatch. I sure hope it is. But we've come a long way in these last couple of years of putting this together. So that made me smile to open my mailbox and see that letter in there, because I wasn't expecting to get that until December or maybe even January or something. So the fact that it came in the end of September was a huge blessing. Yeah, I sent out our first community newsletter, going back to that. It's the Sparrow Quarterly, going out every quarter. If you are subscribed, or even if you're not subscribed and you want to get what I sent out in September, because I sent out a big, long update. It was huge. Most of my newsletters will not be that big, but this was a big one for the first one. If you didn't get it or you would like to get it, just shoot me an email, tom@yourotherbrothers.com, and I will send that to you if you want to know what the updates were from the previous quarter. But I will send out another one before the end of the year, and talking about the state of our finances. That'll kind of be the big financial newsletter. I talked a little bit about our finances in this newsletter, but the end of the year newsletter, it feels like a fitting time to kind of talk about the end of our fiscal year, which is the calendar year, ending in December, and just talking about where we are as an organization, just when we get down to the nitty gritty, the finances of it all. I hope, of course, that by the time December rolls around, that we are in a better place than where we are financially. And we're not in a horrible place by any means, but we are not where we need to be. If I can be as generic about that as I could be. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, so don't quote me on this, but I would say we're only about 50%, if even that. Maybe it's more like 45% funded, 45 to 50% funded on a monthly basis. And this covers payroll for me and Aaron. This covers all of our operating costs, our accounting fees. Hopefully we have no more legal fees at this point. I'm kind of done. I'm sure all of you would be done too. To be done with legal fees and government fees, I'm pretty sure most of that, the vast majority of that, is now done. But we're going to have ongoing payroll fees and taxes, and of course our web hosting and Zoom software and podcast editing software, all that stuff. So we do have, a pretty sizable gap that still remains. And I'm trying to count my blessings and look at the glass half full, because the fact that we were able to launch a nonprofit already with over 100, something like 120, 130 people already giving. Like what an awesome foundation. Like, it's not lost on me that most nonprofits have to start from zero. I mean, technically we started at zero back in 2015, over about 10 years ago. But we weren't a nonprofit then. We were just a hobby. We were just a blog. And so I'm kind of grateful for 10 years of journeying and building relationships, doing all these retreats, all these Zoom calls, all these discussions, all these blogs and podcasts. Like, we have this track record now, and we have this history. And so the fact that we were able to launch this thing with over 100 people giving right at the jump, to already get to essentially, I'm just going to round up to 50%, to be about 50% funded, pretty quickly, is amazing. I don't want to lose sight of the blessing in that, but the flip side is, we have a sizable gap to close that, to get where we need to get. And I knew from the start that we would need to bring in not only people within our YOB and now YOS membership, but also bring in allies from the outside, our brothers, our sisters, who may not share a common sexuality, but share certainly a common spirituality. Our moms, our dads, our brothers and sisters, biologically or otherwise. Yeah, our friends, our pastors, our married couples, our sweet older married couples that take care of us, that always provide the best meals at potluck night, or our faithful singles, our college students, our everything in between. from the one end of this age spectrum to the other. We need everyone chipping in and helping out for this thing to work. That was always the motivation behind it. It wasn't necessarily to just bring your other sisters online, although that was a big motivation to restructure things the way that they are now. Yeah, I mean, the big motivation was the big fear, honestly, when we started. We started Your Other Brothers as a refuge away from the church. We needed this place to talk about these things because we couldn't talk about them. I couldn't talk about them at my church or with my small group or with my people. And it just makes me smile to no ends, both my own personal growth, but I know the growth of so many people listening to, where maybe that was your story. Maybe that was part of your journey of not feeling like you could disclose your sexuality or any part of your story, this part of your story with people in your life, with other believers. As contradictory, as paradoxical as that sounds. But now you can. Now you have that lifeline. Now you have like a channel, a place to discuss those things, both quote unquote away from the church, but also in the church, because the line I keep repeating, we are the church. Your other brothers, your other sisters, your other family, we are the church. We're always going to have our place that's separate and a place to kind of vent a little and just be amongst brothers and sisters who know firsthand a lot of the things we're talking about and struggling with. But gosh, if we just cut that cord and sever the cord from the greater church, this thing will not work. This ministry will not work. And I'm encouraged. Conversations I've started having, Aaron started having, some of you have started having with your loved ones has been so encouraging. You know, we have a long way to go to raise the funding that we still need. And I believe there are a lot of people out there who, when they learn more about who we are, what we're all about, the content, the community, the connection, and the care that we're offering, the rootedness in Christ through all of it, I'm convinced that extra 45, 50%, 55% funding that we need is right there. So I said this at the retreat to our Yobbers who were there, but I'll say it again. I think I've said it once before already on this podcast, so forgive me if I'm a broken record. But truly, if you have someone in your life that already knows about Yob, you've told them that you have this men's group or men's community, or if you're a woman and you have mentioned now that there's this women's community with a women's podcast out there and all these like Zoom calls and Discord discussions and Revoice meetups and other local meetups. You know, if people already know that this thing exists, but now they just need a name to go with it, or they need to know the need. They need to know that there is a financial need. And beyond the financial need, a need for us to just have more people reading our content, listening to our podcasts, keeping up with our meetups and retreats and all the things we're discussing as a community, for it to be more than just a financial transaction. I mean, I think that's like the big 35,000 foot view of this thing is like, yeah, we need the financial help for sure, but to have more members of the church just more familiar with issues of sexuality and gender identity and faith, and putting that all together. So they're on the inside now. They're no longer on the outside looking in, but they're getting some of the inside from this relationship. Like that, gosh, that would be so cool. That'd be amazing. That's such a motivation for me. I hope it is for all of you too, or for some of you out there who are open with your stories. So I encourage you to be bold and bring it up with just one person in your life, a mom, a dad, a best friend, a pastor, whoever you're close with, whoever knows about this side of you, and reach out to me if you have any questions or you want to set up a Zoom call. I'm all about it. I am all about the Zoom call. Some people are over Zoom in the year 2025. I'm all about the Zoom life. So hit me up and let's Zoom with your loved ones. And if you're already giving, if you feel as if you can edit your gift on a recurring basis, that would be awesome. We want to make entry into our community as accessible as possible. So we have some suggested amounts, which are minimal, roughly $5 or $10 a month US. But if you've been in this community for a while, you've gotten a lot out of this community. If you can give more, I encourage you to give more. It's so needed right now. So I just want to put that out there. And if you've been following our content for a while, you're listening, you've never given. You didn't give on Patreon when we had the Patreon page, and you know about our giving page now and this nonprofit journey we've been on. Maybe you've been waiting for our tax exempt status to come in, and here we are now. Our tax deductible status is here. now has truly, this is going to sound so cliche, it has never been a better time to give to your other family. All the information is going to be in the show notes. You can go to our website, yourotherfamily.org. Just look for the giving link in the top right corner of your screen. And thank you in advance. God is doing something. Our theme verse, I'll close with this. Our theme verse for the retreat was Genesis 12:1, where God essentially tells Abraham, go to the land that I will show you. He doesn't tell him what the land is or where it is. He just says, I'm going to show you that land. Your job is to go. And I feel like for the last couple of years, my job has been to go. And I don't think where we're going is as dramatic as a land far away named Canaan, full of Canaanite people also. But it's an epic journey nonetheless, not knowing where this funding is coming from and who's going to give and who's going to join us, both inside membership and outside, and how those two might intersect in the future. I mean, I don't know any of that. I have no intel. God has not spoken to me in a dream about what the next 5 to 10 years looks like, but we're going, and we're further along today, truly, than we've ever been with this new status approved. So thanks for all your prayers. Thanks for all your gifts for those who are giving on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis. If you've given a one-time gift, thank you, thank you, thank you. So that's the update for September as we are making pathways here into October. Stay tuned for a lot of good stuff this month. I think you're going to like it. I hope you're going to like it. So wishing you well, all you fellow sparrows. This has been the State of the Sparrow, September 2025. We are approved.
Your other family.